Hi everyone, my name is Digvijay Parmar and welcome back to my YouTube channel Pick Up Pencil. So in today's session we are going to learn about object and class, and we are going to learn it right from the fundamentals. So in any object oriented programming language like Java, everything is based upon an object, and these objects are created out of a class. So in today's lesson, as I mentioned, that we are going to take it right from basics. So first we will try to understand that how objects in a programming world can be related to the objects around us that we see whole in our day-to-day lives. And also I'm going to explain in this video that what are the classes actually in Java, what kind of structure a class provides for an object, and then objects properties and behavior like state and behavior, how do they actually fit into that class and object structure. And we are also going to learn about few more important keywords. Those are really important, especially when we deal with object and classes. So let's begin. So as I mentioned earlier, that we are going to start this session from relating object and classes from the real world example. So first of all, let's talk about the class. So if we see that classes are nothing but a set of or a category for similar kind of things that has a common properties and behavior. So let's take an example of like a chair, right? A chair, a table, a bench. So all these are what? These are made up of wood, and these are the furniture. So we can say that furniture is a class, is a category, and all the items that comes under the furniture like a table, chair, and stool, all these are objects. So this is a very simple example, and in my previous videos I was taking an example about a car. So let's take an example. I think that'll be more relatable to us, that how actually we can understand the class here in this scenario. So I'm taking an example of car class. Okay, let's build a car class. So first we are going to understand this from a structural standpoint, and later on I will write a class, an object, and we'll make an object out of it programmatically. But before going to the program and before writing into the code, let's understand how the real concept behind car and object. So we said, right, in the real world, classes are something that is a category, right? We can understand. Or classes is something that can hold an object in another way, right? So we can see, right, as per various definitions, class is something that provides a structure or a template or a prototype or a blueprint. You will keep hearing many terms, but all these are the same. So we can use a structure or a blueprint or a template. So car, basically, when we talk about building a car class over here, so what does it has? So first we will simply say public class, and it will be car. So first we are going to understand it conceptually. Later on we'll do it programmatically. So this structure is a placeholder for nothing but the data members and the functions. So class is nothing but a car class is nothing but which is able to provide a template or a prototype or a structure or a blueprint for an object's data member, or we can say them the object's properties or fields, data fields. So data members, we call them either data members, we can say the properties or the fields or the functions, or we can say them methods or the behaviors. So do not get confused. All these terms are the same. Either we can say functions, methods, behaviors. So this is all the same. So if we build a car class, right, we can declare some data members, and the car can have a color, right, and car can have a model. So when we build a car class, we are defining data members here. So data members are which is representing a properties of a car, right? And then comes to the functions or the methods or the behavior. What is the behavior of the class of a car? We can say, and those will become under the functions like, rotate tires. This is a function. And another behavior can be like, right, start engine. This is a function, right? So we just build a prototype of a car class. So class is nothing but a structure or a prototype that consists of a data members and the functions for an object. So just now we are talking about the car and the class. We have not yet talked about the object. So let's talk about the object now. And right now I'm talking just only the conceptual way. After this, we'll write a program and then we will even understand it more. So right now we are here to the car class. So now how the objects can be created. So once we have the car class and we have, right, car is a category of the similar objects that has a common state and behavior, right? So the car can be, so the object can be car of an Honda. Later on we are going to write it programmatically, but Honda. Another object can be Toyota, or it can be like Nano. So all these objects, Toyota, Honda, Nano, these are the different, but these, even though they are the different companies, they are a different model, but they have a common state and behavior. They have a common properties and methods like color, model. All these cars will have color and model. All these cars will have a common behavior like rotating tires, starting engine, and maybe more. So this is how we can understand that the class is something that provides a structure or a prototype or a blueprint for the object into it. So these are the objects which are going to be created out of the car class. And most important thing is any class will have the data members and the functions. And this is also called state and this is called behavior, right? So now, till now we have learned it conceptually. Now let's go ahead and build our car class programmatically, and then we are going to create an object out of the car class. Okay, so let's do that next. So now, since we already know about object and car conceptually, let's go ahead and build a class and create some object out of it programmatically. Okay, so we are going to build a car class. So whenever we build a class in Java, this is how we go. The first keyword is public. So we write public because we want to have the scope of this class as a public, so that the other classes in our bigger program will be able to access this class. That's why we say public. Public is nothing but we are defining the scope of this class. Okay, then we say class, CLASS, lowercase. Remember, Java is a case sensitive language, so we got to be very careful about the cases. So class is a keyword, and then we say car, and then opening braces. So this is the starting point, and then curly braces. So this is just the structure, the wrapper, the outlining of our class. So we have just learned that class consists of a data members, like the fields, like the state, and the behavior, I mean the functions or the method. So we are going to have for the car, let's take properties string, okay, color, just we are defining it, that's it. We are right now, we are not defining the color anymore because it's a structure, okay. Now second data member, we are going to create string model, okay. So these two are the data members we have created. Now let's go ahead and try to create some method for this class. So another method I'll say like public void, okay, rotate tire, okay, and something goes inside it. So public, I said public for this method, that means this method can be called from outside this class. Void means this method is not going to return anything, and rotate tire, and you write your logic here. Now the second can be public void start engine, and then some logic goes here. So what really we are doing here, programmatically we are trying to give some behavior. So this is nothing but the state or the data members. So when we write your actual program through the Java code, this is how it is going to look like. So this section is state of this class or data members, or we can say fields, and this is nothing but the functions or the methods or the behaviors, because we know that, right? Behavior of the class is rotating a tire or starting the engine. So right now we have created our class, right? So now the next task for us is to create an object out of this class, right? So how do we really create an object out of it? So this is the way we create. We say car like this, okay, and then we can say small case car1, right, equals to new. So pay attention to this keyword here, new. This is very important. So we create an object of a class with a new keyword, car1, or not the car1, I'll give a meaningful name, car Honda equals to new car. This is how, this is object 1. Now let's create another object, car2 equals to new car. So first object is Honda. So now second one also, let's give it a meaningful name, car Toyota equals to new car. So what exactly what we are doing over here is we are creating new objects out of this single car. So that is why this is what we'll have to learn. This is where we have to remember the syntax, that new keyword is used for creating a new object of any class. So this is how we create an object of a car. So regarding to this one, there is one more terminology comes here in the picture, is identity, okay. So we have to also know about this one, identity, okay. So whenever we say this car Honda equals to new car, that means we are going to create a new object which is called Honda or Toyota of this car. So whenever this program runs and new objects created in the memory with the new keyword, the Java will create a new identity for this object. So even though right here this Honda and Toyota both are an object of car class, they have the same state and behavior, they have the common functionality, but still they are a different objects, they are a different entity in the memory. So maybe Honda can have a color blue, but Toyota can have a color red, right? Both can have different models as well. So that is why we have to know that the identity of an object is something that can uniquely identify our objects into the memory. So basically this car class has a state, this is the state, it has a behavior, that is function, and once with the new keyword, when we create a new object, it gets an identity. So this is how we create a class in Java, and this is how we create an object. There are a couple of more keywords that I wanted to explain here. One is, they call it class, the car is, any class is also known as a factory of an object. So basically car class here, right, we have just one class over here, we have defined a structure for one class, but with the help of just one class we are able to create multiple objects like Honda, like Toyota, and then maybe Mahindra, and then Nano. So with the help of just one car class we are creating multiple objects. So that is why the classes are also called object factories, because it's act in factory where the single unit can create multiple items, and items are nothing but the objects here. So that is one. Second thing I would like to let you guys know that the objects are also referred as instance. So remember, all these are the different terminologies, but they are actually the same thing, instance. So as I say, Honda is an object of car, like Toyota is an object of car. Similarly, Honda is an instance of car. Object and instance both are the same things, and that is why these values here, these data members, are also called instance variable, because once you create an instance of an object you get direct access to the instance variable. So instance and objects are nothing but the same thing. And the third point I would like to let you guys know is, so car, and this is quite important one, so car act as a type. So remember, right now we have some predefined types already in Java, like the string, and then we have integer. So similarly, each class, and you will know it more when you do more programming, you know, when you write more code, you will get to understand this more. But this car class, right, this is acting as a type as well. So right now I say, what is the type of Honda? So Honda is nothing but a car. So for Honda, car is a type. And similarly, I can create another class here, like, you know, forget about the car, right? Four-wheeler. Public class four-wheeler. Simple, nothing getting changed. But it's up to me what kind of type I want to decide for this class. Earlier it was having a car, and now I get a four-wheeler. Both make sense. So it's up to me that when I talk about, you know, in a bigger picture, how I'm going to take it. But right now you have to remember that the car is also the class is also act as a user-defined type. So that is all for today's session. And if you like this video, please like and comment, and please share the channel and subscribe the channel. Pick up pencil. Thank you.